Liverpool beating Everton last night. Now, I think almost every single human being in the world has had their say on the Trent Alexander-Arnold contract situation. But because this is the first Inside Liverpool show that we have done since the international break, where obviously the news kind of came out that, the worst kept secret in football was nearly confirmed, or pretty much confirmed, that he's going to be going to Real Madrid. I've just got to get your thoughts on this, guys. Peter, you obviously live in the area. You go to the games. You're in the COP last night. So interested for your thoughts on a local lad who's been at the club since he was a kid, played hundreds of times for the football club, won every single trophy on available to him, not signing a new deal and moving away. Do you understand this decision, or is it something you just can't get your head around?
Of course, you got to understand his decision if that's his decision. But I think people genuinely feel a bit let down that he's let the contract run and we're not getting any fee for him. I think that's the real issue. I think it happened. I think Steve McManaman did it as well. And that tarnished his reputation with Liverpool fans. But when Real Madrid come, it's very hard, isn't it? I mean, you talk to people at the game and go, if you get if you go to what you think is the biggest club in the world, I don't think they are. I think Liverpool are, but other people do, and I think it was significant that Trent said about winning things. It was the Ballon d'Or he was after. Remember that interview?
Yeah, he gave an interview. For those who haven't seen it, he gave an interview with Sky Sports, and I think it was something like he was to pick the thing that he'd want the most, and I think it was Champions League, Premier League, World Cup, and Ballon d'Or, and he picked the Ballon d'Or.
The online abuse is absolutely ridiculous because we've had the pleasure of watching Trent. He's a top player, and I think you miss him. We missed him in the Carabao Cup final. We missed him. We missed those passes. Certainly, I think Salah misses those defense splitting passes behind the defender. And Trent supplies that. So I don't want him to go. But, I'm not going to start going on social media, calling him all the things under the sun, because that's his decision, And Liverpool will move on. I was there when Keegan left, we were all devastated. And then, when Rush left, we were all devastated. But people move. Remember Torres going, I think. Yeah. Then we got Suarez, so,
And Andy Carroll in the same window. Don't forget Andy Carroll.
It's a bigger picture to see. And I think, it's one of those. I just think maybe the club could handle it better, but maybe they have. We don't know the ins and outs. Maybe they have offered them deals, in the last couple of years, extensions, and he just hasn't wanted to sign them. But Trent hasn't said a word.
Yeah,
great. He hasn't said a word. He hasn't.
But Peter,
speculation just from elsewhere, hasn't it?
Just to pick up on something you said disappointment at him running his contract down. I know we're all guessing here, aren't we, of what's happening behind the scenes. Yeah. But do you think that this has almost been a conscious effort in his mind, that he's always had Madrid in his mind and that he's run it down? Or do you put more of the blame at the football club in terms of them perhaps?
Probably 50-50.
Sure.
It's probably 50-50. I think if they'd have offered him an extension, he got an extension a couple of years ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
If they'd offered another year or two on his current contract, with more, he might have signed it. He might not. We just don't know. And I think Danny knows all about, transfers and what happens. And, I think it was Rafa Benitez says football is a lie, didn't he? When it comes to what's going on in contracts.
Sure.
There's nobody, unless you're in the room, you just don't know, do you?
I think it's easy to understand the draw of Madrid in some respects, especially for most football people. It's a bit more insular when you grow up as a Liverpool fan and you play for the club you love. It's not as easy a thing for some people to accept, which I also understand. There's a footballing aspect to it, a lifestyle, a culture, things he wants to achieve. I get it. You can't begrudge him. I don't anyway. He's been tremendous for Liverpool. I think the difficulty around him going for nothing is an issue for a lot of people. I know Peter mentioned that. It's a really difficult one to have a really solid opinion on without knowing all the facts. Who's offered him what, when? How adamant has he been not to sign it? How much money have they offered? All those things. Has there been a clause offered in there that means he could still get the move? All those things we know. So I think it would be foolish to put all the blame on him or all the blame on the club. mean, the reality is it could be one or the other who's completely to blame. And he might have dug his heels in and said, look, doesn't matter what you're offering me, I don't want to go. I don't want to stay, sorry. That might come out in the wash. But while we don't know, I think it's ridiculous, really, to be too opinionated on the subject. Purely from a footballing perspective, I do understand it. And I only understand it mainly because he's won everything at Liverpool already. I think if you're a local lad or a Liverpool fan and you play and you haven't won it all, I'd find it difficult for the mindset to say you want to go somewhere else and try and win the trophies you're trying to achieve at the club you love. So that would be one thing I'd say. But overall, it's a disappointing situation the club's in, because it's not just Trent, it's Virgil and Mo as well. And it's very, very unusual to the Liverpool I knew. So when I first went to Liverpool, Peter Robinson was the CEO. And generally the rule was always the same, that if you're appreciated or wanted by the club, if you're getting to 2 years left on your contract, you'll either get rewarded or you'll get gone. And very few players were too big. Few players were too big and too special to change that rule. Stevie Mack was the first one, because obviously that was all new then when the Bosman rule, that ruling came in. That all changed the dynamic a little bit. But that was probably the first one I remember. But generally, even after that, Liverpool used to work in a way that if you're not signing and you don't want to be here and you're not going to come on board with what we're doing, then we'll look for an exit plan. And the fact they haven't done that with these three, I find quite bizarre, especially the quality of the players we're talking about. So my gut feeling is that maybe the players have had more to do with that than the club offering them stuff. But maybe I'm wrong. We'll have to wait and see. The biggest problem is with all of this.
But also there's...
Go on, Peter.
Yeah, also there's the fact that Klopp announced that he was leaving before he probably wanted to, So mid-season, obviously, the news comes that Klopp's going. And maybe the players are thinking, well, wait there, see what the next man's like. It could be an element
there
of
could
that,
be.
couldn't it?
And
that's why the club haven't been able to get...
before their contracts run out, wasn't it? That should have been dealt with 2 summers ago, not mid-season. I think that should have normally been summer before. I do take your point, because... If Virgil, especially with Virgil and Mo, because they're a bit older, maybe you're all right getting to the last year, but they might be thinking, well, hold on, I don't even know how this manager's going to be. I don't know how it's going to go. But the big problem is with all of this is that when you start a new season, like next season, you're normally already planning now. What do we need to make the jigsaw complete? At the moment, Liverpool don't even know what pieces are going to be missing to fill. It's a bizarre scenario where they're going, well, if Virgil and Mo sign, all of a sudden, that's that area of the pitch, fine for another year or 18 months or 2 seasons or whatever. So then they can prioritise elsewhere. If Virgil and Mo go, God forbid, then all of a sudden, you've got to fill those spaces. So maybe the fullback areas become redundant, maybe the mid, all these things. This is the little... I'm amazed now still that we haven't got a resolution on any of them.
I mean, there's rumours going, round that Virgil and Mo were going to sign, but they can't announce it because of the Trent situation. But it's all, you know what Liverpool's like for rumour mill, on transfers, and we don't know what the reality is, So everything's speculation. But obviously, the ideal scenario is that Mo and Virgil do stay. Otherwise, I mean, Virgil, the whole team's built round his, the fact that him and Kanate work together, and this, the solidity at the back, and it's essential, isn't it?
I've got a good feeling, Virgil.
Final question on.
Let's
I think Virgil most stay. I think
say, Sam,
for sure.
I've got a good feeling.
Oh, hang on a minute, Peter.
Oh my
hang
God.
on. Is this our first Inside Liverpool worldwide exclusive, Danny? This is our second ever show. Would you like to drop an exclusive?
No, I don't know.
It's the Robbie Fowler on the golf course.
I don't know anything for sure. But what I'm saying is I've heard enough good positive things from the people I do know.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're saying you're confident Virgil and Mo are signing new deals at
I
Liverpool?
don't know about Mo. I'd be less confident on that.
So am I.
But Virgil.
Yeah,
I mean, James Pearce had to put something out, didn't he? Because Mo was seen on the Albert Dock on like
Yeah,
a yacht.
sure.
And he's got a commercial partner. But everyone's going, he's meeting the Saudis.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, there was one with Trent a few months ago where he was at his local park where he grew up and his Liverpool tracking. Everyone thought that was the contract announcement. It wasn't. It was some commercial deal.
I mean, I put something on Twitter a while back, said someone needs to tell Trent that there's a local saying in Madrid, 9 months winter, 3 months hell. And that's the local saying. Because, you know, it's not Malaga, it's not the Costa del Sol.
You need to get that. You need to get that song on the Cot Peter in the next couple of weeks. You know.
Yeah.